Hello everyone, welcome back. We are back with Puzzle. If you notice that she's a little snorty, that's just because I just got her in here, and sorting them in always causes a little stress. Oh goodness, I gotta lift this way up. Okay, so we're changing it up today, and we're going to work on counter conditioning with her. I'm gonna go over that in a minute. Shout out to my friend Jessica for providing some insight on this and getting me out of the rut. I'm at the stage with them. All the adults, this isn't including Harper, who's doing phenomenal, but the adults are all at various stages of gentling where they're just so close to kind of figuring it all out. And again, different stages. Like Puzzle, I can touch her, but as I've mentioned before, and you may have seen in the videos, there's some videos that I didn't film, like stuff that wasn't filmed or anything, but she can be real resource. Not only does she resource guard with the other horses, but she's very protective of herself and her head and neck. So she was giving me some pretty loud signals there, so I've had to backtrack a bit. And just touch, like I can touch her, but it hasn't quite switched over to like a neutral stimulus. It's still a bit of aversive to her. So we're gonna work on counter conditioning today. And I guess for the other girls, you know, they're just like so close to figure it out, but they're just not quite there. So this is the part of training that I kind of just go, oh God. So if you're working with a Mustang, and like mind you, I've gentled a lot of Mustangs, like a lot. But some of them, man, you get to a point and you're just like, wow, this is, repetitive or tiring or whatever it is. All right. So we're going to start off, and there are 2 grain bins out. And the reason I'm doing bins is so we have like a station. And it's also so she doesn't make as much of a mess, so I'm sure I'll make a mess throwing this stuff. The bigger pan has actual alfalfa in it, and the smaller pan has Timothy pellets. And I know she's going to continue to choose the alfalfa, but I want to sort of get her thinking about eating the Timothy. And I'm not sure if this pink bin is going to be too scary. Okay. Yeah. Tossing the treats might be scary. All right, so I'm just going to give her a minute to come back. She's good. Like, I can touch her with the stick. I've touched her with my hand. It takes her a minute to kind of get past the jumpiness. I'm trying to think of how I want to handle the alfalfa. I wish I had like a laptop bag. I could put a flake in where the laptop would go, and I could just grab it from there. I'm sure I could buy that or something, because she loves the alfalfa, but the way that this is going to work right now is going to be really hard to kind of grab this like systematically, but we'll give it a try, I guess. I can do it. I can figure it out. Enough complaining. Figure it out. Okay. Hi. Good girl. Yeah, so we're on just a different stage with her right now. So the goal is, and I have done this with her. Hello, girl. Oh, you want some? That's new. Yeah, take some. It's really new. Okay, you took the whole flake. So much for cleaning. Can I grab it? Can I grab it? Can I grab it? I just want to grab it so we don't make a big mess. Just cleaned in here. Okay, that was really interesting. Huh. That was odd. Not in a bad way. That was interesting. Wow. All right. So what I'm going to do, oh my goodness, we're a little jumpy today. We don't need to be. Yeah, you don't need to be. So I'm going to probably just raise the stick, click, and toss food. Now, for this moment, I'm not going to be uber picky on the body language, because if I get way too technical about where I want her head to be and all that, I'm not going to get anywhere. I don't mind her staying put and like lifting her head up, as long as she doesn't have this big reaction. Obviously, if I lift this and she runs away, I'm not going to click and treat her. That's not the purpose here. I'm going to give her a minute. I'd love for her to come back in the middle. You guys see her tail is brushed? I brushed her tail out. She likes that. I need to trim the ends of it. She's funny, this one. She's particular, which is fine. Hi, baby girl. Okay. So the mission is touch, click, treat. Whether that happens today is going to be up to this child. Because we're very busy today. We're like moving around. She's mad that her hay isn't like everywhere. Yeah. Good girl. Now, if this were a Pona and she was like right here and looked at me and like was pretty quiet, I'd click and treat for that. But she's not a Pona. We're working on something different today with this one. Good girl. Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit behind her because she doesn't mind the hind end as much. I'm going to click because she showed interest in a stick and didn't put her ears back. Really good. Because that's another thing she does, because it's her face, right? She goes to smell something foreign and she gets pissy. And I want to work on that. No, 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 don't go and reach the bucket. It's like, no, I want to try it. Actually, I'm going to let her because that's a new thing that she hasn't touched yet. Good girl. But I also don't want, hi. This isn't working out in my favor. Like, part of me is like, yeah, check that out because that's new and scary and bright. But I also like wanted to do this thing, and I have to give you the food for that, Billy Billy. Okay. Yeah, walk away from it. Maybe I can carry this. Maybe this isn't as scary. Oh my god. Just like, woman, make up your mind on what you want to do. We have a plan, but you're going off script. Come on. Come on. Okay. All right, so clearly the bins aren't going to work, and that's okay, because she doesn't really know the bins yet. So what we're going to do... Hello. You want to touch the stick? God, I have hair in my face. We're a hot mess, Puzzle. That's okay. All right, first she needs to stop moving. Good girl. There we go. All right. There we go. So the focus is to counter condition the touch with the whip to be appetitive instead of aversive. So she's going to get touched with the stick. And if the language is nice, she's soft. She doesn't need to be like, you know, super quiet, but she's standing still and she's not pinning her ears. I guess those are the two criteria I'm looking for. Standing still, no pinned ears. She's going to get a click and she's going to get a treat toss towards her. So then she'll learn that this always is followed by something pleasant. Because I've been able to get to that point from the shoulder, and that's even pushing it, barrel kind of right along her back to the hind end with fine. Like, she doesn't pin her ears at me. It's good. But anything beyond that, that's when she gets on the defense. So we're working on trying to get her to not feel the need to be defensive. Hi, you want to touch the stick? And I also want to encourage that because she's not very curious with her face. Because again, she's like guarding it, where she doesn't always like to check stuff out. She doesn't want to touch my hand. Every time she sniffs my hand, she puts her ears back. And she doesn't do, she, knock on wood, hasn't done anything yet. But we're making sure that doesn't happen. Right? Because we don't want them to continue to feel like they're being ignored. Okay, this didn't work. The pinned ears didn't work. So I'm going to now do something bolder. It would probably scare me, but I'm going to do it. Like, that's kind of where that's where she would go if I constantly kept pushing her. You know, and part of gentling is figuring out that line of threshold and like, what does pushing them look like? Because there's a lot of horses you don't have to do all this with. And I want to give her space. I don't want to just be crowding her. She's used to me being near her. Like, me being here is fine. This isn't really aversive. It's not quite neutral. It's like right before neutral if we were gonna put it on like a spectrum. We leaving. Come back, pretty girl. Come back. So I'm just trying to get like away from the mud. And also, she's trying to find more alfalfa somewhere. Come here. Anywhere else. Come here. Like, what is that sound? What is that sound? That's crazy sound. Come here, Puzzle. Come here, Puzzle. Yes. It's a good puzzle. Come on over. I don't want to go to her in the corner, but come on over. I threw some in the pan. So we'll see what she thinks of that. She's like, I'm going to eat the scraps right here because I don't want to work that hard. Okay. See if she'll find the food in the pan for a minute, because that would be really good for her to figure out. Hi. Yeah. And there's pellets in there too. You're good. I'll back up more. See the worried eye and all that? She's like, this is craziness. Okay. What are we doing? So I think I might have mentioned this before, but she does take hay from me, but she does it consistently when there's a fence in between us. I'm not really sure what the logic is with that, because it's not like it's she can very clearly see me, and like I've never done anything to scare her, and like I don't think they really quite understand that fencing would kind of, I don't know. You're silly. So let's see if she'll eat from this. Actually, I'll show you guys. Nope, never mind. I will show you nothing. Never mind. Because I did this with Harper. Like, Harper's halter broke and all that. Look at her. She's so freaking cute. She's gentled. Like, she's good. She's well on her way. Oh, fresh. Yeah, let's not. You get your head stuck. And I do this thing where I teach them to lead at Liberty first and all that. But I know I didn't record her sessions just because I didn't feel like it. The adults, I feel like, are giving more opportunities to learn. Problem is, like, this isn't what I want because she's eating currently. I don't want her to be eating before I start this. Puzzle, can we go elsewhere, please? There we go. All right. Good girl. Good girl. Can I touch you with this stick? You want it on the ground? Where do you want the hay? Darling, you're like crazy today. Crazy. Like, I'll just eat what's over here. But that's not, this isn't, what are we doing? What are we doing? You want it out of the pink bin? Every time I go to offer it to you, you're like, no, that's scary. Okay, we're leaving. That's okay. I'm gonna just walk over here. So again, it gets to a point where like walking and all that isn't really aversive. So like if I were working with Pona, I wouldn't just be, or let's go with Ezzy instead, Esperanza. Her walking away from me, I wouldn't necessarily be like following her, but because Puzzle's on like a different training level right now, I like this is just a different approach. Hey, what are we doing? She's like, I'm gonna just get what's over here. Puzzle, what are we doing? Is the rate of reinforcement not fast enough? Or do you not know how to take it? Good girl. Yeah. All right, well, let's just do a little hand feeding, I guess, for right now. Take a break from everything else we're doing, because we're chaos today. She really doesn't know what she wants. Like, seriously. You don't even know what you want. How am I supposed to know what you want? There we go. Okay? Let's try to do a touch and a feed by hand. That's what I've been wanting to do, but it hasn't been working out for me. Because she hasn't been taking it consistently enough for me to think that it's creating clean loops. And just so people know, because if you're watching this and you don't know positive reinforcement, basically the way that the way that we train is we use the ABC method. So it's the antecedent, behavior, and the consequence. So it's essentially like the cue, the behavior itself, and then the consequence that is given based on the behavior. So for right now, I'm trying to, touch her or not move. And if she doesn't move, she gets a click and a treat. The consequence is that she gets a food reward. Good girl. And when we are trying to like progress and build on behaviors, we want to have clean loops, meaning like I can touch her, click treat consistently, like with nice fluidity and like minimal latency. And the problem is when they're not quite ready to take hay from you, or they are on an inconsistent basis, that's latency, and that's what we don't really want. Because like it's okay if you get it at first, because you probably will, but like I want her to really understand the behavior and the consequence that's given. We're just not quite there yet. The fact I can give her hay though by hand in here is insanity. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I've been giving her big bites, which is good, but I'm going to give her more time in between so she can chew, because she's still chewing that bite. So I should have waited a second. That was my mistake. But I did cluck, so she does get another handful. And again, there's like a time and a place where they could still be chewing. You can ask the behavior again, but just because I really want to solidify that touch is followed by food, I really want her to sort of stop chewing. The problem is I lose her like that. So maybe that's why I was doing it. I think I was like trying to keep the flow going. That's all right. Oh, Miss Puzzle. Oh, Miss Puzzle. Come on, pretty girl. She's trying to get the hay out of the wheelbarrow that's over here that has the gross hay in it. She's going to sniff the camera or walk right past the camera. Something. Puzzle. See if I can get her attention. If she looks at me, I'll click and I'll throw some hay over here. Throw some hay in these pans. Throw some pellets in these pans. I'm gonna make a mess over here. Okay. Good girl. Nope, not there. Here. Over here, child. Come here, child. Like, this is what we gotta work on, is her, like, attention. Because she wants to find the reinforcement in, like, the least aversive way. Like, I get it. So she doesn't have to do anything right now, anything that's hard, in order to get the food that she wants, to get what she wants, which is why this is a little bit of a challenge feeding the alfalfa, because you spill so much. Like, eventually, when I use pellets, it's so much cleaner and more effective, because if they drop the pellets, sometimes they go to grab it. Like, some of my guys like will sniff it out, but for the most part, they like check where the pellets are, which is the pan, and if the pan's empty, they know that there's no resources outside. So then the behavior is easier to kind of work on and clean, because they're not constantly moving around. They're staying stationary where you want them. So that's not what we got going on here. That's okay. All right, I'm going to see if I can touch her again, and then just, this isn't quite exactly the way I want it to be done. Yep, okay, at least her head's up now. Oh, good girl. I'm gonna throw a big chunk right there. Back up. That was a really good puzzle. She's looking at the whip with like clear intention and softness, which is big for her. If we can do a session without ear pinning, I'm gonna be really happy. She just is she's not mean. She just is, she knows how life worked out in the wild, and that's how it worked. So she's like, why isn't it working here, you know? But that's why I use a lot of food rewards, so that they realize that I'm fun. Just a lot of waiting. But like I said, I can touch her. I can mostly kind of groom her. Like, there's stuff I can do that is good and great and we're going in the right direction. Like, she is progressing. I'm working on this emotional balance with her. And that's the part that we're doing right now. And this is the tedious part, but this is like the missing piece because that's really it. Like, she's just head shy. So if I can work through that head shyness, then we'll be able to take her tag off and halt her and do all the other stuff because she's pretty brave. Yeah, okay. Good. And I'm trying to get away from those pinned ears. So I'm trying to reinforce right at the moment before. And I'm really not trying to push her. I'm not trying to get close to her head. I'm trying to go for the wither. But she keeps glancing over, which is fine because she's doing it in a nice way. Hi, yeah. You're being good. Like, she's doing it in a nice way. So I can't, I'm not complaining about it. It's just, it's not really what I want her to be doing. There we go. But like, this is the best that we've been able to get it because she's taking this hay really consistently today. And I've been trying to use positive reinforcement as much as I can, but it is very systematic. And if they're not taking hay consistently, then the cluck doesn't really matter. Like, there's a lot of, there's problems with it when you're doing gentling stuff where the horse just doesn't know how to take food. So that's why I use a lot of negative in the beginning because I don't have another choice. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Airplanes. Good girl. She's doing great. Really, really good. I am very pleased. I hope she's in frame because the angle of the camera's weird. Let me make sure. Normally we're over in the corner and she doesn't want to be there today, which is really nice. Okay. Yeah, she's in frame. You guys can see what I'm doing and you can see her butt. Hello, girl. Good girl. Can I touch? She didn't quite go for what I threw at her, but that's okay. Here she's just going for all this, which is more like in R plus we call that open bar. Hi, can I just get this flake for you broken up so you can have it? And what that is basically you can do a behavior and I'll provide just constant reinforcement. So like I'll use that for vaccines for Moose, one of my troublesome Mustang geldings. That way we can get the vaccine done and he just is getting a constant offering of hay or whatever it is, cookies or whatever. Good girl. And that works really well. But for the purposes of counter conditioning, it doesn't work so well. She's trouble. You're in trouble, Baker. Again, I don't want her over here, but I'm not gonna really punish her. Why are you so twitchy? Why are we so twitchy? Why are we so twitchy? Whoa. There. Yeah, there you go. Why are you so twitchy today? What's up with that? Good. Okay. I'm going to reinforce that look because I like the curiosity. I'm going to just keep pivoting so she has to kind of turn. And again, I'm going to just keep reinforcing that for right now because I really like it. I'm going to back up a little bit because I'm not sure if maybe in this cluster is giving her anxiety. There you go. Hey, puzzle. Why didn't she want that? It's weird. Okay. Well, we're eating out of the pan, which I really want her doing, so that's good. Good girl. I really want her eating out of either pan because there's Timothy pellets in there. You guys see her body weight? She's like ready to go to the right. Like, this is all stuff we got to watch because if somebody took a picture, I mean, they might see that her right front is like her heels lifted off the ground, and so is now her left hind. But like people would be like, oh, she's just standing eating. No, she's ready to walk to the right. She's ready to leave. Like that's the sort of stuff we have to be watching. Like why does she feel the need to be to leave? You know, like what's causing pressure? And it's probably me, but like that's the stuff that we got to be observant of. Why am I right behind you? Why am I right behind you? I can't wait till she's gentle though, because she's gonna be such a good horse. She's a really cool horse already. Can I touch you? Can I touch? Like, no, you can't. Can I touch? Can you not go to this spot? It's like there's a feed bin over here. Yeah, that is a little confusing. That one doesn't have anything in it. Ready? Touch. All right, I'm gonna just reinforce that because she had some ears and I just wanted to catch them before they went back. So she realizes she doesn't need to give me pinned ears. I hear her loud and clear. She's like eating nasty scraps, like wet mud scraps of alfalfa instead of the nice fresh handful I just gave her. She is funny. Good girl. All right, we're gonna work on this some more. Hello. So, because she didn't like, wasn't that she didn't like, but she showed some more stress signals when I was closer to her on this side. I'm gonna just lower the criteria a bit. So just reinforcing for the stick going towards her. And again, I want the same reaction. I don't want ears pinned. I don't know what's going on over there. Roulette. It's loud today. I don't want ears pinned and I don't want to her to run away. Oh my God. If you guys hear it loud in the back, it's just Roulette. She just always does that. Girl. Oh my God. Do something, that one. Okay. Again, she's just eating, so this isn't really what I want her to do, but maybe we'll just take a minute and just do some slow touches for a second. Good job. So I'm gonna argue this for a minute, and this is like, I go back and forth on whether I approve of this or not, but we could consider her eating hay as an anchor behavior. So it's essentially a start and end signal. This anchor behavior is a better term. She is eating the hay on the ground, signaling that she is, oh my God, Roulette. Wow. She is a loud girl. She's eating the hay on the ground. That's signaling she's okay with me touching her with the whip. Now, you could argue that that's not really what's going on here, and it defeats the purpose of doing all this counter conditioning because, like I said, I want to be giving her the food reward after I've done this behavior, but she's putting herself in the spot, and I can't I'd rather not like micromanage and get her away from the spot that she wants to be and say, no, we're only doing it this way, when this is, I guess, theoretically a good process too. Again, it's not quite what I want to be doing, but if you look at her, can you guys see her? Let me turn the camera just a smidge so you can see what I'm talking about, because you're probably not even in frame. Okay, there we go. So she's eating, okay, and she's pretty quiet. This horse is very expressive of her discomfort. It's like right there. She's like, what are we doing? Right? So that's obvious. I'm going to pause. It's a good girl. And then I'm going to, okay, now we can go back to what we were doing. There we go. So this is not what I'm talking about, okay? This, however, is like an anchor behavior. If she eats, I can touch her with a stick. And then technically, I could wait till she takes her head away, but I want to make this more neutral. So because she's eating and is quiet, I can just take that away, and I didn't get any reaction there. Good girl. Like, she is just face of the ground enjoying that alfalfa. Good. Really good. Now, if I were to walk up to her, I bet you there'd be a different reaction. I can give it a try. I just don't love that she's right up against the wall. There's tail lift there, so there's some tension. I'm just gonna stand here actually for a minute. Yes, good girl. Okay. I just releasing because she showed that she was nervous, but she didn't do any, you know, I'm gonna put in quotes, poor behavior. She didn't put her ears back or anything. I didn't touch her, obviously. Not close enough. I just don't want her in the spot, but we can't get out of it. She loves to find these corners and just like hide in them. There you go. Good. Hi, Epona. Like, to me, this isn't different than a horse. Like, there we go. There's some tension signs. So now I'm going to go back to, hi, baby girl. There we go. That was really lovely. Lift up the stick, ears forward. There's the counter conditioning element of it. So I'm going to let her eat that. I'd love to be doing counter conditioning today, but she's giving me different things here. We're getting releases. Good, good, good. There's Roulette yelling again. Roulette's annoyed by the gelding. Don't blame her. So see the tension there? So I'm going to just like give her a second. So there's some ears. So I'm going to go back to this so I can do this nice and clean. I'm going to wait for a little bit of, okay, good girl. So I really wanted to just wait and click and treat when her ears went forward, just so she softened up, because it's a fine line. I'm trying to use positive reinforcement like as much as possible here. However, there is a balance of like releasing. I mean, obviously we want to try to be shaping behaviors like slowly, but you'll experience a time when you're trying to do that and the horse will put their ears back and you have to wait using negative until you can release when they are being, you know, nice about things. Yeah, good girl. Really would like to draw her away from this side, but I just, this is just where she wants to be. Hi, pretty girl. Good job. I'm gonna just see if she'll like lift her head again so I can touch her with the stick. Like I said, counter conditioning is much easier when you have pellets because they're not distracted. Like there's basically and there's not, but like a hay net on the ground for her. She could just go and eat the hay that way, and this is defeats the purpose of all this. I'll try to touch her neck a little bit. There we go. Just while she's munching on that, so this becomes a little bit more neutral. I'm gonna give her a minute. She's doing great. The only reason she's up against the fence is because it's there. Like I think if that pile was right here, she would be right here. That's all right. What are we gonna do? So, you know, me walking up causes some ounces of tension, so I kind of want to work on that too. Good girl. Can I touch? That's nice. Good. Really, really happy with how she's doing today. I'm gonna just do a little bit more. I have like a quarter of a flake left. I may not even finish it. And I have about a third of this left, so I'm definitely gonna go through this. This is like chopped from the other day from the clinic. I want to feed that. You're being so good. But yeah, I definitely wish she wasn't against the wall, but that's okay. She's not nervous that she's up against the wall. Good girl. A little bit of ears back, so I just want to give her a minute to think. Not be so reactive. It's very good. Give her a second. And I'm still going to throw hay, even though there's hay down there. So she realizes every time that I cluck, hay is provided from me, whether she takes the hay I just gave her or the other's hay, whatever. She wouldn't know the difference. Good girl. You'll be very good. All right, so the head lift on my cue. So I think I'm going to just stick with the touch with the whip for a while before I really try to start touching her again, just because me being in close proximity is causing some tension. Like I can be here, and like I said, she'll take hay from me. Like there's a lot that's really, really nice. We just need to get through that initial head shyness, because I can touch her with a stick on both sides now, and it takes like a minute for her to warm up into it. But then like the twitchiness goes away. Like she's really not twitching anymore, which is awesome. Before she was like, you know, an accordion. Good girl. So again, I'm just going to click and I'm going to toss hay over there, and whether she eats it or not is her prerogative. Just want her to know every time I click, hi. Now those were not her pinned ears, okay? Horses absolutely put their ears back, and there's a big difference. The pinned ears are the flat up against the neck ears. Those are the ears that you got to be cautious of. The ones that are back, I see those more so as like a worried look than an angry look. And the worried look we can work with. It's the angry look that we have to be more cautious about when we're reinforcing. Like you can reinforce, there's a little tension there. You can reinforce the stressed look and then eventually shape that to get them quiet and soft and like actually work on their emotional balance and all that. But for right now, like I can't be that picky. I can't say, oh no, you can't be mad at me or be stressed, because of course she's going to be stressed. Like we're doing crazy stuff. Oh, what a good girl. Yes. So we're just going to do 1, 2. Yes. Very good. Very good. Again, she's not going for the pile that I'm throwing at her, but she's going for hay. She knows she's learning the process that I'm tossing hay to her. It's all good. I just want to wait and see if she'll lift her head up, but she might not. I at least want her head straight. I don't want her to get spooked and bump her face on the fence. And it doesn't help that that whole flake is right there. I'm going to grab that. Can I grab that flake? Can I grab that flake? I might need you to back up. Yes. Good. There you go. I'm just grabbing this puzzle. I'm grabbing this. She's like, oh, that's fine. You grab that, because that is going to end up with me, isn't it? She's doing good. I mean, she's getting very comfortable with me. There's just still a lot to unpack, but I definitely have noticed a huge shift with her. That makes me really happy. I know the girls are going to be tough because they've been on the range for a long time. So I knew they weren't going to be walks in the parks, but I also was getting stuck with their specific training, because every horse is so different. And what works for one horse, doesn't work for what works for 10 horses doesn't work on the 11th. Is that the saying? Something like that. That's kind of how I'm feeling. That's really good. All right, I'm going to switch to the black whip, which is shorter. I didn't throw that close enough to you, girl. There you go. Just because, why not, right? It's closer to me. So, okay. Make sure she's in frame. Yeah. I might even make this closer. There we go. That way you guys don't have to squint. All right. So, switch the whips. Not much shorter, but enough. I have like 4 whips in here, and they're only used for this purpose. Like I said, I don't lunge and do anything like that just yet. I will. Not yet. I might, I did a little bit with her and a little bit with Epona, but I try not to do it too much in the beginning. Okay, so different whip. Might be scary at first. I'm just going to touch her for a minute. Okay. Okay. There we go. So we got a little defensive, but not bad. like, I'm going back in my corner. All right, go back in your corner. There we go. Head up. I like it. Not because I like to see the stress, but I like that I can make it clear that she's doing the behavior, then she's getting the food. That's what I like. Like right here, I can touch. You're good. So she's getting a little bit bracy. So I might go back to, just because the whip is different. Like that's literally all it took. Isn't that funny? I'm gonna let her eat this. I'm gonna back up a smidgen. Give her a minute without my. Oh, she took a step towards me. How nice was that? That was cool. Obviously, it wasn't like a step walking towards me, but she shifted closer to me instead of going the other direction. Those are the little things that I noticed that you want to notice. It's like, that's really good. She was comfortable enough to lean back towards me instead of leaning away from me. That was great. I don't know what those guys are doing. Okay. There's a hair on this. It's her hair. They're shedding so bad. And it's like staticky because it's, winter time. Good girl. So this isn't really quite counter conditioning because she's just constantly eating. But I still, at the very least, she's learning the click and the clicker and like the bridge signals and all that. So something is being taught. We're just out of order, but that's okay. It's hard working with untouched horses. You're like training a deer. Okay, she lifted her head, so I'm gonna take that. Like, part of me doesn't want her to lift her head because I don't want that tension to start off with. But I also want it to be clear. Behavior, action, antecedent behavior consequence. Like I want that to be very clear. So it's a fine line. I hope this is making sense. We're going to continue to discuss these sort of topics. So it's like, I'm going to mention it a lot. You're going to see a lot of examples because there's a lot with Epona. Still got a lot with this one. Yeah, we do. And obviously with Esperanza, we have a lot. So there's going to be constant discussion about positive reinforcement and all that. Because like I said, I use it primarily. It's just in the beginning when you're gentling, you cannot ask them to do something and then click and then go walk and give them food from your hand. That doesn't work that way. They don't know any of this. This all has to be taught. Oop, that scared ya. We're just building up the duration a little bit with that body touch. Like I said, she's had a lot of touch. Like I've brushed her, I've done stuff with her. We're just sort of reframing it and reshaping it, and I just want to build up the duration so she knows that she's still going to get reinforced. There's going to just be some time that passes before. Trying to give her lots of time to eat so she doesn't scorf it down because she has some resource guarding issues. I want her to know there's plenty of hay and that she has plenty of time to eat it and nothing's going to happen and nothing's going to take it because nobody else is in here. And I certainly don't want that. That's a no for me, girl. All right. Touch you with a stick. Yeah, I'm throwing you hay. Throwing you hay. And like a lot's being taught here. She's learning about this pink bucket and the sounds it makes and me throwing things towards her and not hitting her and scaring her. A lot is being learned today, which is really, really nice. So hopefully she won't be so spooky when like my hands reach out, down the line. I'm almost done with her. I'll just save that last bit and probably the rest of this. I'll just throw this in their hay bins. Okay. So I saw the twitch, but part of it's just me crunching the snow is scary. I can try to feed it to her again by hand. Good girl. Good girl. Give her a minute to chew. Good girl. I'm really trying not to touch her because she does not like that yet. That's what triggers her with the feeding by hand, is when she touches my hand or my glove, she loses it. Yeah, sorry, ticklish. I lost my leverage there because I reached back in. She's like, that wasn't fast enough, lady. I didn't have a good handful, so I don't want to spook you. I just don't like where we're standing. Like, I just feel like she's not cornered, but I feel like she is. If I feel like it, she probably feels like it. She is shedding. Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. I might just give her the rest of this and let her eat it. And that will be the end of that for today. I think I'm only going to do one session with her today. She did very good.